Spiegel the Cat, a story poem by David Martin based on the tale by Gottfried Keller, illustrated by Roy McKee. Clarkson M. Potter, Incorporated, publisher. Copyright 1971. In memory of Lillian. The first chapter, in which we discover Seldwyla, which was a town in Switzerland, Fugli, a virtuous spinster, and Spiegel himself, who was the spinster's cat. 1. There was a town in Switzerland, once upon a time, the like of which was never seen in story or in rhyme. And where it stood the oldest Swiss to-day could hardly tell, but still its name a magic has, like some forgotten spell, like some forgotten tune that still floats lightly on the air. Gone is the singer and the song, but still it lingers there. Just say the name Seldwyla, in Zurich or Lucerne, or ask the boys of Fribourg or the pretty girls of Bern. Seldwyla, they will say, and smile, it was a town of ease, where no one toiled and all lived well. We wish we were like these. Seldwylans never won a war, they always came too late. They kept their soldiers' powder dry, but drummed them home in state. They loved to sit beside their stoves and drink Seldwyler wine, to gossip and to speculate, till 4 and 4 made 9. And others will remember yet some saying gay and queer, which more than any stone of truth those canny folk held dear. A lad under his father's nose his frozen hand would shove. Well, serves you right for letting me go out without a glove. They got up late, went late to bed, because their ancients told how once there was an early bird who caught an early cold. They burnt their candles top and tail, nor did they find it strange. Sun, rain, or hail, they still made hay, to prove that proverbs change. Heaven they thought a jolly place, where good Seldwylans dwell, and bad Seldwylans also had a jolly kind of hell. Ah yes, where is your flag and wall, said Will, your golden days? Where are your drummers and your drums, your songs and roundelays? Those double-ended candles, where is their cheerful glow? How soon tomorrow and today become the long ago. 2. Far from Seldwyla's noisy inns, where peasants made carouse, deep in the minster's shadow stood a dark and stately house. There lived, when our tale begins, alone and without blame, a virtuous body, calm and kind, Fugli, the spinster dame. Alone, I said. Not quite alone. The Fugli had a cat, whom she called Spiegel. Why and how? No need to tell you that. Now Spiegel was a gentle cat, respectable, serene. His coat was black, his nose was pink, his eyes were tulip green. Live and let live, his watchword was, fair play, his law supreme. If there was only milk for tea, he never asked for cream. He only killed selected mice, the most intrusive, bold, who fancied that the cheese was cheap, and then paid sevenfold. A sportsman to his whisker tips, he rather starved than poached, but woe betide the buccaneer, who on his field encroached. Though, mark you, if some crafty mouse, more artful than the rest, took refuge in a neighbour's house, he would not give it best. He would not spit or pule or yowl, or impotently rail, but call on the proprietor, politely raise his tail, and with much courteous pleasantry explain and state his case. Therefore he rarely was denied the freedom of the chase. Every one knew the ham was safe when Spiegel stalked his prey. His business done, he bowed and went discreetly on his way. Now of our Spiegel one of those, nor was our Spiegel one of those who cannot take a joke, who snarl at every friendly dig and every playful poke. If some brave fellow pulled his ear, he took it in good part. What if a loutish roughneck, out of his useless heart, made free with clumsy liberties, he paid the usual price. One cut from Spiegel's cutlass. No need to draw it twice. Only when Fraulein Fugli's mood was waggishly inclined, would Spiegel nibble at her toes, or jump up from behind, on her old shoulders to preside, while capturing from her spoon some truffled salmon, or a sprat, or say a brandy prune. Much better than from near the hearth the oven to invest. He liked on narrow banisters or gutter pipes to rest. The shakier were the banisters, the firmer the intent, with which his virile mind pursued its philosophic bent. Thus Spiegel lived with tranquil soul the good and godly life, a friend to orphans, and a foe to tyranny and strife. 3. But twice each year, in Lent and fall, when violets bloomed, or when the call of woodcocks echoed from the range, oh, strange to tell and strange to hear, with spring and autumn every year, there came a sudden change. A change so weird and wonderful, a startling, stirring change, that like a fierce tempestuous knife, with awful force and mischief rife, thrust to the wellspring of his life, his peace to disarrange. Then for a week or 14 days, his gentle, inoffensive ways Spiegel threw to the wind. He would go swaggering far and near, just like some Irish grenadier in Hindustan or Sind. He sang his songs by day and night, his songs of war and love. He sang his most enraptured song as passionately, loud and long as any lark or dove. He roared and loitered through the square, one cat against their 10. He tracked his wayward love to where she tarried in a rival's lair. Then he forgave the guilty pair, and dragged her to his den. In short, he dared and he triumphed in many a grim dispute. But when at dawn he turned for home, cheerful and dissolute, his mistress wrung her hands and cried, "You ought to be ashamed! Look at yourself! Look at your ears! Spiegel, your leg is maimed!" But who was not ashamed was he, for Spiegel understood that within reason such a change could only do him good. He calmly drew a wetted paw across a battered nose, and with an air of unconcern lay down to his repose. So moon by moon the seasons flowed on time's eternal tide, till, full of years and cashew drops, Fugli the spinster died.